brings the shot.
Stephen Curry.
He can bury the shot.
Lillard.
Got it.
Oh, man.
Resets a screen, splits, it goes right in for the hammer.
Yes, big fella, that's the finger roll.
Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics.
Step back jumpers, you look like Dirk Nowitzki.
Zion rips it, punches it home. Oh yeah, it's time to get in the gym.
The lights don't get much brighter than this.
With the first pick.
You know, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do what I do.
I'm ready.
Welcome everyone to the NBA 2K23 Summer League. From Las Vegas, Nevada, and the inclemency of the desert heat underscoring the unforgiving fine line between success and failure. Welcome everyone to the epicenter of the basketball universe for the next 10 days. Tonight we've got the number 1 pick against the number 3 pick. At the fulcrum, the tipping point, the intersection of expectation and excellence. Tonight it's the Houston Rockets against the Orlando Magic inside the Thomas & Mack Center. And the number 1 and number 3 picks going head to head. That's Jabari Smith, the number 3 pick of the Houston Rockets, against number 1, Paolo Banchero out of Duke, ready to get in his first NBA run. And here's a look at some of the rules tonight. All 30 teams here and present for the next 10 days. 75 games in 11 days, folks. Simply put, man, we're going to ball out until we fall out. The 2 top teams from the first 4 games will play in the championship game July 17th at 12 o'clock local time, 3 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Hey, the seeding is going to be determined after the first 4 games based on winning percentage and a slew of tiebreakers. This is the moment that we've all been focused on and waiting for in the wake of the NBA draft. Banchero against Smith. And we're going to take a short break. Cassidy Hubbard standing by with Paolo when we come back on the other side.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, an opening night of the NBA 2K23 Summer League. I'm Cassidy Hubbard alongside the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft, Paolo Banchero. And Paolo, you're used to a lot of eyes being on you. Obviously a former Duke star, the number 1 overall pick. But what are your expectations for your debut tonight here in Summer League?
Just to come out and play hard as I can, you know, affect the game in a winning way. And just, you know, put on a show for the fans. You know, it's a big crowd. We in Vegas, so, you know, we got to have fun.
The obvious storyline is you going up against number 3 overall pick, Jabari Smith. You never played against him in college, but what is your understanding of his game and the challenge he poses to you guys tonight?
He's a player, you know. I'm going to have to bring it. You know, he's going to bring it every possession on the offense and defense end. So I'm going to have to be ready. But we're going to go at it. It's going to be fun.
Your selection at number 1 was a surprise to even you. You found out just minutes before Adam Silver called your name. How much has it set in that you're a member of the Orlando Magic?
I mean, it's here. It's official. You know, we suited up in the Magic jersey, so can't get more official than that.
Good luck tonight. Thanks for your time. Much more to come here from Las Vegas, including tip-off and the start of the 2022 NBA Summer League.
And welcome back, everyone, to Las Vegas. Our own version a little bit later of Midnight Madness, the first of 2 runs coming up here. We're going to tip it off with Paolo Banchero, the number 1 overall pick in the draft a couple of weeks ago against Jabari Smith of the Houston Rockets, erstwhile of Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers. Man, this has been highly anticipated, highly debated. Doris Burkett's summertime.
Amen.
Again. We got Cassidy Hubbard joining us in just a few minutes. Doris, let's talk about these 2 6'10" behemoths, productive college basketball players now coming into the next level. How do they contrast and compare against each other?
Both 6'10", you're right, but their frames are very different. Paolo Banchero has 30 pounds on Jabari Smith, but there are some similarities in terms of what they can do from a skill set. both NBA ready in terms of their frame. Both can shoot it from range. Smith, in particular, really distinguishes himself with that shooting ability. Both can put it on the deck at 6'10". It is the modern NBA. Both can play with their back to the basket. Paolo can do a lot of things well. Shoot it, put it on the deck, get downhill. But maybe his best attribute is his passing. But what a matchup we have tonight, Mark.
Look at the numbers here. These two quasars joining the constellation of stars in the NBA. Banchero, a little bit better score, 17.2 per game, but Smith, a noted edge in terms of his three-point shooting percentage. Folks, let's take a look at the starting lineups for the two teams tonight, Houston and Orlando. The Rockets starting Josh Christopher, Nix, Smith, Eason out of LSU, and Anthony Lamb. For the Magic, Kennedy, Hampton, Banchero, Emmanuel Terry, who played with the Kings last year, and the Stockton Kings during the NBA and G League's regular season. And we are ready to go here. A nice, healthy crowd at the Thomas & Mack Center. First of two tonight. After this, we'll have the Detroit Pistons taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. It'll be Smith and Emmanuel Terry jumping it up at the center circle. And of course, during Summer League, sometimes it's a little bit of a lab experiment for the NBA as they try to implement and test out some new rules. We're going to get a chance to see how it all works out tonight. Underway. Rockets with the tip. And into the front court. Here's Smith. Pitches it back. Inside, a nice punch. Coming right over the top. Terry Eason out of LSU.
They said he set the tone throughout the camp for Summer League with his intensity. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, came off the bench a season ago for LSU. Sixth man of the year in the SEC. Corner three is pure. Kennedy knocks down the jump shot. Here's Smith, little dribble handoff on the wing. They swing it around to Christopher, second side action. Got a whistle and a traveling violation. Jesse Mermis, the head coach of the Orlando Magic, the Summer League team, as R.J. Hampton brings it up court. Hampton really wanted to work on a bunch of things and volunteered to play. He played with the Magic during the regular season. Out to Banchero. Jab step, gives it up on the wing. Good defense by the Rockets. Banchero draws the foul. See if it was on the ground or on the attempt.
Savvy recognition of both the clock and putting the defender in a situation where quickly he got him to make a mistake. That's court awareness. So shot clock dwindling. Houston was absolutely awful. Their whole conversation in this preparation for Summer League has been defense. Well, that will please your coaches. But how about that recognition by Banchero to get Smith off his feet?
Banchero, savvy scorer, and they anticipate using him in a variety of ways here tonight. Hampton spins and pulls.
But you saw Smith.
Yeah.
Now, this is where he will distinguish himself. Banchero with his passing, but Smith switches on a guard and had no trouble contesting and containing.
Houston looking to improve defensively this year. Inside. Wow, Josh Christopher almost caught a body underneath. Whistle out of bounds. It'll stay Rockets basketball, but great aggression by Josh Christopher. 24th pick a season ago. Right over the top. Through the contact of Terry.
They like that, Mark, because one of the things they've talked to Christopher about is shot selection. Well, you can't doubt that. Get downhill into the cup.
Went to the hoop with malicious intent. Got a sideline out of bounds just underway. 8:24 to go in the opening quarter. This is the first of two. Our own version of Midnight Madness here in NBA Summer League. NBA 2K23 back in earnest. Nice look inside. That baseline jumper good by Christopher, so he's in a nice flow to start this game at the offensive end. Houston up by a point. Banchero on the handle. Kennedy with a deep pull, hits nothing but net. His second three ball.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. You think about it, next 2 years he's under contract, but nothing guaranteed, so a lot here for him.
26-year-old out of Princeton. Here's a three ball, a little bit short, and Terry with the board. Hampton into the front court. He finished off the regular season on a positive note for the Magic. Doris, what do you make of the fact that the 2 first-round picks are matched up against each other? Banchero drifting to get open, and it's butter.
I love it. You know, you want the 2 best guys being competitive, anticipating the matchup. But Banchero is a guy who is so multi-tooled. We've already seen him put it on the deck, make a smart decision to draw a foul. Now slips to that corner on the strong side, makes a bucket.
Seattle, Washington, the Emerald City, which has produced so many great players over the years. Actually, Paolo telling us a little bit earlier today that said he had a great conversation with one of his mentors, Jamal Crawford, who mentors a lot of up-and-coming NBA talents in that area. Cross court, 10 on the shot clock. Christopher draws the foul. It's on the rip through, so it'll be side out of bounds. Houston basketball. Shot clock will reset to 14, but you heard Paolo in his pregame interview with Cassidy saying, hey, you know, you're going to have to bring it tonight. He realizes that Smith and he will be inextricably tied forever because of the way that the draft evolved, the way it all went down when a lot of folks, simply put, Doris, expected Smith to be the first pick, but the Magic and their brain trust playing it very close to the vest.
I wouldn't mind telling the Orlando Magic a secret because I know they can keep it.
Speaks well for them. Smith with his first jack, a little bit short. And back comes Orlando. Simpson into the ball game. That one a little bit strong by Hampton. And Houston in transition. Christopher into the lane and a sweet finish with the left hand.
I tell you, he has been aggressive and assertive from the outset. But again, he played 74 games. He's comfortable. He's confident.
Banchero out top. Guarded by Smith. Nice look inside. Terry couldn't find the handle. Hampton on the baseline. And that's going to be an offensive foul on R.J. Hampton.
You make a good point about this guy, though, Hampton. He's basically putting himself out there, right? You have 2 guards already in Orlando, in Markelle Fultz and Jalen Suggs. And, you know, he asked to play. He doesn't have to be here. This is his 3rd year.
Doris, no shame in wanting to get reps that are ultimately going to get you better, right?
Listen, there's no hiding. You will or you won't make it, but there's no reason to duck competition.
Cassidy has more on RJ.
Yeah, I spoke to RJ about his decision to play in Summer League in his 3rd season because he said it was his decision. He said he didn't get into Summer League his rookie year because of COVID, so there was no better chance in his mind to get to know his new teammates. And he said he woke up one day, he called his agent, Mike Miller, who is also Paolo Banchero's agent, and they had a discussion, and they just basically decided this was the best thing for him to get the run in the Summer League and continue to improve his game, guys.
Yeah, he started 13 of their last 18 games and brings up a good point. You know, there's still a lot of second, third-year players playing catch-up because of COVID. Deshaun Nix in transition, a little bit short. And Hampton on the run-out. Houston back on defense in transition. Tough shot, that's going to be a travel. Caught his own shot with 5:52 to go in the opening quarter. Exhale. Breathe deep. We're back.
NBA 2K23 Summer League is presented by NBA 2K23. Answer the call.
Welcome back, everyone, to Las Vegas. Thomas and Mack Center. Jamal Mosley, the head coach of the Magic, with Jonathan Isaac to his right and to his left. Jalen Suggs, you were alluding to him a moment ago.
Well, you mentioned, Mark, that there's a lot of guys playing catch-up because one Summer League wasn't played. COVID affected so many things. Think about a guy like Jalen Suggs. In college, the young man never attended a class in person because of COVID. It was all online.
Wow.
So a lot of these guys experience, just like the rest of us, where COVID is concerned, things change. You have to be adaptable.
I didn't go to class much, and I didn't have COVID as an excuse.
I don't believe that.
Inside. Whistling a foul as Daishen Nix went to the bucket. Played for G League Ignite last year, went undrafted. Still just 19 years old. Originally committed to UCLA before signing that one-year $300,000 deal with the G League Ignite squad, and now with the free throw line. Houston Rockets looking for better defensive presence this year.
Right.
Beyond Summer League, and they're implementing some of those principles here. We had a great conversation with Stephen Silas a little bit earlier this afternoon at their shoot-around in practice, and frankly, they're looking to win some more games this year coming up as well. They've got some things resolved, in particular John Wall and Christian Wood traded.
That's a lot of money you're paying to get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
$47 million, I believe, is the number. But to your point about the defensive end of the floor, Rockets a season ago 30th in defensive efficiency. Opponents in the paint against Houston shot 60%. Mark, that's the second worst in the last 25 years. So Stephen Silas, I spoke to him for about 10 minutes. I said, you realize you've said the word defense like 15 times.
Kennedy on the drive, 10 on the shot clock. Good switching defense by the Rockets so far. Banchero wheels inside and draws the foul. And there you see some of his ball handling skills and his ability to make plays. They talked about Jamal Mosley, their head coach, being able to use him at the elbow and dribble handoffs and pick and roll as well, Doris.
Right. I mean, taking some contact, too, playing through at that 250-pound frame with that handle. But you're right. You can deploy him all over the floor because of the multi-skilled offensive game he has.
Sets the screen on this sequence for Simpson. Out to the corner. And the jumper good by Admiral Schofield, formerly of Tennessee. And Orlando out to a 5-point lead. Baseline jumper and rebounded by Hampton. R.J. Hampton was part of that deal with the Denver Nuggets that sent Aaron Gordon the other way. He drives and draws the foul. The foul is going to go against Ty Washington, their 29th pick overall in the first round out of Kentucky.
The prior possession, though, Banchero, after he set the screen, had the small on him. If I'm a guard playing for Orlando, I am looking for every opportunity. I'm not missing that chance to get him the basketball.
Yeah. Banchero so far in the ball game has made his only field goal attempt with a couple of assists. Knicks driving on Banchero, and they pick off the baseline drift pass. Kennedy out of Princeton. Banchero trying to post up here against the shorter Knicks. Got a little one on him. Baseline jumper with a fortuitous roll.
It's just such a good feel, right? You know, face up right away, size up the defense, recognize you can get your fadeaway over them.
I like the footwork on that.
Big time.
Nice little pivot to the baseline. That floater is good by Ty Washington. Drafted by the Grizzlies, then dealt to the Rockets on draft night. Off the miss, here's Smith. Smith showing off the handle here, raising up and draws the foul on Banchero.
The same thing on the Houston Rockets. If you're a guard, you've got to be looking to get him the basketball.
That's going to be the second foul on Paolo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doris.
I don't necessarily know that the guards he played with understood. Mr. Smith was pretty good.
Yeah.
And you probably needed to get this young guy some touches.
19 years old, Jabari Smith, the third pick overall at the free throw line. Shot 42% on his three-pointers last year, playing for Bruce Pearl. And in speaking with some of the brain trust of the Houston Rockets earlier today, the money quote was he is, quote, highly motivated.
Yes.
Coming into the game tonight, going against Banchero and Orlando. Smith, obviously, you can understand if he felt that he should have been the #1 pick. Goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And a very competitive guy, so he's motivated, Cassidy, not just because of where he was picked, because that's just his DNA.
Yeah, and I asked Jabari pregame how motivated he was heading into his summer league debut as Banchero knocks it down from 3. He told me, I'm not trying to think about the matchup against Banchero too much, but he did tell me he's trying to showcase tonight how hard he plays and how much he can affect winning. And Stephen Silas talked about Jabari's demeanor. I asked him, how quiet is he? He says he's quiet off the court, but on the court, he's a competitor, not scared to talk trash and get on guys. And just a short moment I spoke to him in the layup line, he looked focused and someone who was taking this matchup personally. We'll see how they respond after the break, live from Summer League.
NBA 2K23 Summer League action continuing Friday on NBA TV. Spurs against the Cavs beginning at 5. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, then Denver against Minnesota at 9 o'clock to close it out. As we get underway in earnest here, 10 consecutive days of basketball. This is NBA paradise in the middle of July. Here's Banchero off the screen, got a little one on him and draws the foul. The footwork, Doris, has a little bit of Carmelo Anthony in it.
Quick recognition, too, of any switch where the small is on him.
Banchero has scored 8 of the last 10 points for the Orlando Magic.
He hit that jumper against Smith, who was in pretty good position.
Little drive into the paint. Tough shot and a foul drawn by Simpson. Xavier Simpson, 25-year-old out of the University of Michigan.
And Smith's going to get this foul, but I love his activity on the defensive end. His awareness. He's clearly processing things quickly on that end.
Jabari Smith at 6'10", lanky.
And he's right now having a conversation with the baseline official. He was looking up at the Jumbotron, trying to see if they were going to show the defensive foul. First of all, if my rookie's mindset first and foremost is that physical frame we're looking at and his agility, and then knowing that he's processing things defensively and looking to cut off drives and provide backside support, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Great awareness. Picked up his 3rd foul. That's the bad news, Doris. The good news is that as Smith gets the rebound in Summer League, they're allowed 10 fouls.
Keep hitting them, Mr. Smith.
Put him in the top. Smith sets a screen for Huggins, got downhill and finishes with the left. Rockets back to within 6. Under 3 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Jabari Smith is 0 for 1 from the field so far. Whistling a foul as Justin James, the former Sacramento King, drives to the bucket and draws the hit. Get to the free throw line. That foul is going to go against Christopher. That puts James at the stripe for a pair. Justin James spent most of last year with the G League's Cleveland Charge. Prior to that, he was a member of the Sacramento Kings. Various times last year, signed with Utah, Cleveland, and the Pelicans, but didn't play a whole bunch. That's what this Summer League is all about for a lot of guys, Doris, an opportunity. Christopher into the paint. Through a lot of traffic and couldn't finish. One more to the corner. Schofield with the jumper. And a quick hit ahead to Christopher. Got peeled by Simpson out of bounds. It'll stay Houston basketball with 19 on the shot clock.
You can tell Christopher has the mindset to score. Good job by Simpson. Staying in front, getting the slap down. No foul.
Boy, Christopher, another one of those young Houston Rockets, just 20 years old. Rips through. Nice little spin move with the offhand, Doris.
Beautiful move. Yeah, how about if you're Stephen Silas? Last year you had 5 20-year-olds. You're going to add more to that.
Wow. Well, we saw John Wall here a little bit earlier. Rafael Stone, the general manager in the front office, getting that situation resolved. Wall now a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. There's John. And, you know, things are not always as they seem on the surface. If you speak to the people close to the Houston Rockets, the players in the gym, John Wall was a great teammate. He was around the team. He was working out. It simply came down to a situation where business-wise and for their future, well, things were just incongruent. So they got to a buyout situation, and he'll come off the books after this year. Christopher with a deep heave.
See what I mean, Mark, about his level of aggression on the offensive end. He's touching it and letting it fly.
9 points for him. Simpson kicks it out. That put back good by Caleb Houston, the first-round pick. 32nd overall. Out of the University of Michigan, played for Juwan Howard. Another Canadian product. Whistling a foul. But Josh Christopher looking extremely comfortable. He's got a green light here tonight.
Yeah, averaged just under 8 points, couple of rebounds, couple assists. Helps when you get to Summer League and you've already played 79 NBA games. And yes, you've been told make sure your shot selection is good, but he has taken quality shots all night.
Christopher out of Arizona State, 20 years old, as Jabari Smith takes his first break. Smith has 1 point on a free throw so far, 3 fouls. And you can only hope that the Rockets, selfishly speaking, that they'll play him a few games here in Las Vegas and get his sea legs back. You know, you think about it, he and Banchero haven't played competitive basketball since the NCAA tournament. And 5-on-5 practice isn't quite the same as real live action. Simpson inside. Schofield in traffic. Schofield with another 3. Great effort by James. Wide open 3, no good by Houston. Houston had a couple of looks. We're looking at him as potentially being a nice 3-and-D wing player for the Magic. Out of London, Ontario, Canada. That 3 no good. A lot of talent coming out of Canada these days. London, if you're not aware, folks, is about 2 hours southwest of Toronto.
What's that a product of, Mark? Why is the game growing in popularity?
Has always been very popular, especially amongst the Caribbean population and immigrant population in that city. Great hook shot. 4-point game. Christopher fouled on the 3 by Simpson.
Well, that looked like a lot of ball. That looked like a ton of ball.
Yeah, back to your point. There it is. Hey, got him on the arm. Christopher at the free throw line for 3 attempts. But yeah, back to your point about the prospects coming out of Canada now. The immigrant population has always taken to basketball very well, and it's reflected in the Canadian national team now when you look at it.
I think about the number of guys in the league from Canada at this point.
It was a wave that started back in the day with Doc Ryan back in the 70s. Played in Montreal and for the Canadian national team. And Jamal McGlure, Simeon Mars. I'm going real old school here. Christopher knocks down the second free throw.
I know you know.
Represented the Canada colors a couple of times myself.
Yes, sir.
International competition. That dual citizenship thing ain't bad.
Shoot, I think I need to see pictures of that.
I'm going to hook you up. Christopher knocks down the last free throw. At the buzzer, that'll miss, and that's the end of the first quarter play. Banchero off to a great start, 8 points, 2 assists. Smith with a single point, but plenty of hoop to go from Las Vegas.
Welcome back to NBA Summer League here with Josh Christopher. 12 points in that first quarter. This is your second year, your second Summer League. How much did your experience play into your score first mentality there in the first?
I think it helps. Just trying to get a win. I know when I sat down, they kind of went down a little bit. We were already down when I kind of sat down already. But just trying to impose my will, trying to keep us in the game, just trying to make good plays.
Good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for your time. Jonesy?
All right, back to the action here in the second quarter of play. And the great thing about NBA Summer League here in Las Vegas, folks, a lot of the luminary stars of the NBA like to roll through from time to time. DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls. Kyle Kuzma with some nice rims there.
I know you know who that is. What style is that? Because I know you're familiar. Okay.
Or Versace. I think they're Versace. Give me a quick look. Those hurt my pocket too much. Simpson with the ball. A little dribble handoff. 7 on the shot clock. Tough move inside for the bucket.
Excellent use of the left hand because defense was pretty solid there.
Yeah, lean forward out of Wisconsin. 24 years old, undrafted a season ago. Holman in the ball game now for the Rockets to start the second quarter. Nice drive inside. Terry with the foul on the play as Ty Washington went to the bucket. And joining us now at the table, Stephen Silas, the head coach of the Houston Rockets. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. And hey, tell us about Jabari Smith and what you made of his first quarter so far. How excited are you about his prospects moving forward?
I'm super excited. He has a poise about him that is well beyond his years. It was his first opportunity to get out here and play. His defense was good. And he's trying to find his way offensively, which is natural for, the first time you're ever on the floor with your teammates. So I'm excited.
I think that's the first thing I thought of, Coach, was his defense, because there was a moment where he got switched onto a guard, had to stay down in front. There's a moment where he had to rotate over into the middle of the paint. Like, given your struggles as a team defensively, how exciting is it to have that kind of guy with that frame and that mobility?
It's great. I mean, he has the physical gifts, but he also has the defensive disposition that we need.
Yeah.
And it's rare for a 19-year-old rookie to come into the league with a defensive disposition, and we're looking forward to having him.
How comfortable do you think he looks right now at the offensive end?
Pretty comfortable. It's hard when they're switching and you haven't had a lot of practice time to go over your counters and all that kind of stuff. So there will be some time for him to kind of adapt to the NBA game and how he's being played. But overall, pretty good.
Boy, Ty Washington has been shooting the ball, I'm told, pretty well in practices and scrimmages so far. Knocks one down there.
Yeah, he's just a hooper. He loves to play basketball. He's a smart player. You can't speed him up. And we love having him around. He's a good worker as well.
Josh, Christopher, I know you and I spoke this morning. We were talking about making sure he took good shots, but he doesn't lack for confidence or aggression.
Not at all. He is a confident kid. His whole thing for me is his shot selection, and it's been pretty good tonight, and his defense and the pressure that he puts on the offensive player when they have the ball. So that was a good pass he just made, but he has to continue to balance his scoring with his playmaking, and he can do both.
Stephen, year 3 coming up for you and the Rockets, and what does it look like moving forward for you in terms of expectations? You made the Christian Wood deal. He's in Dallas now. You got the John Wall situation resolved.
Yep.
What does it mean for this team in terms of expectations for next season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be a young team. We're bringing back 5 20-year-olds from last season, and we're adding 3 draft picks who are going to be a big part of what we do, as well as having young guys like Kevin Porter Jr. and KJ Martin still on the team, Jayshawn Tate still on the team. So we're a very, very young group. So the improvement is going to be seen on the defensive end. Obviously, I've been talking a bunch about that. Mm-hmm. And then as well as our ball movement and understanding where we can get our shots. But we have to win a few more games in this coming season. That's fact. So I'm looking forward to working with this young group and teaching them and having them learn and grow and get better. But our expectation this season should definitely be let's win some more.
Jalen Green had a stretch between March and April. I think it was 5 straight 30-point games. We know he's a gifted young man. Organizations generally send guys home with hey, here are your marching orders. This is what we want you thinking about. What do you say to Jalen Green for his offseason?
Yeah, this offseason has been very much about his body and enduring the rigors of an 82-game season. And he did a good job this past season, improving as the season went along. But for him, he needs to get stronger, and he's done that this summer. He's been in the gym every day, and that's a great thing about our group is we've had everybody in Houston all summer, and he's been there. Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, the whole team has been in Houston all summer, so I can keep an eye on them, which is great, and we can make sure they're doing what they need to do to improve for this coming season.
You talk about Kevin Porter Jr. Doris and I ran into him earlier today and had a terrific conversation.
He's great.
A very engaging young man, and a guy that, like a lot of young players, they have some missteps earlier in their career, but it's all about learning. He talked to us about improving his diet and about the work he's done this summer and how important a year this is. What does it look like for him in terms of on the court and learning how to play the point guard position? Because turnovers were a little bit of a concern for you guys last year.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't do a good job of taking care of the basketball, and a lot of that hopefully is rectified by a year of experience at the point guard position, a year of these guys playing together, a year of them being in my system and knowing where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. For him, he's another guy who's been in the gym all summer and working on his game and working on his shooting, working on his body. And he's a year older. He's grown up a little bit, and he is just a pleasure to be around. I mean, you had a conversation with him.
He was wonderful.
Yeah, he's great to be around. Yeah. Great to be around, but a really big part of our group. And he's starting to understand the gravity that he has with our group as far as how he goes, we go. And
we all saw that 50-piece.
Yeah.
We remember that 50-piece he had. Yeah.
That was sweet.
Stephen, you told me this morning you had a chance to talk to the rookies across the league, not just your own, but the rookie transition or whatever the program is called. There is no one path. So when you were trying to deliver a message to those young guys, particularly like we're seeing so many young men here, what's your message to those young players?
Yeah, I mean, where you get drafted is a starting point to me. And you look at our group, we have Jalen Green, who was the number 2 pick, and he was first-team All-Rookie. And then the year before that, we have Jayshawn Tate, who was undrafted and also first-team All-Rookie. So there's a lot to it. I've coached a bunch of rookies. I coached LeBron when he was a rookie, and Luka when he was a rookie, and Steph when he was a rookie. I guess I'm the only person in the world who's done that.
That's a pretty good list.
It is a pretty good list. I'm proud of that list.
Oh,
but the thing that separates those guys is their ability to learn and their ability to apply what they learn quickly so they can adapt to the NBA. And we have a couple guys who are able to do it, and hopefully more and more guys understand that learning piece instead of like the skill piece or the athletic piece. It's really like such a mental game that they have to understand first and foremost, and in order for them to be successful and adapt to the NBA game. Nice move.
Nice move. You like that, Coach.
I lost my train of thought. What happened? What was I talking about?
Amari Smith with a nice left-handed finish right there, and he was very decisive. Coach, break this down for us. What do you think of it?
Oh, well, his shot is always an option, so they were playing all the way up on him, and he shot faked and drove the ball to his left hand, and a nice little scoop with his left hand. I like it.
Oh,
shoot.
Like it. You can work with that, Coach. You can work with that.
What was it about the interview process when you're going through the draft process and sitting down with him, or at least meeting with him? What was it like?
He has a calm about him that's really, really fun to be around. He is driven. He is only 19.
Right.
Yeah.
Just turned 19 in May, I believe. But he is just a pleasure to be around. And we watched film, and he was like locked in on both ends of the floor as far as how we would use him, where he would fit in, and how he fits in with his teammates. And that's really an important thing for him, but also an important thing for our group.
What is that, Coach? Because I feel like at Auburn there were times where people could find him more. There's been a couple moments, like I've said tonight, if I'm playing for Orlando and I'm a guard, I'm thinking, how can I get Paolo the ball? Same thing on Houston side. So where does he translate best, in particular with the guys you already have in your system?
Yeah, I mean, if we start Alperen Sengun at the 5, then we'll have Jabari be playing on the perimeter, and he will be attacking smaller guys against switches. He will be spacing the floor as we're getting into our pick and roll game. He will be trailing into trail jumpers. He'll be finishing in transition if we pass ahead to him. And we're always trying to draw the second defender so he can get an open shot, because once he gets it, it's hard to get to it for the defenders. So finding ways for him to get to his catch and shoots, but also letting him diversify a little bit, letting him explore his game, like the move we just saw.
Right.
Everybody's kind of honed in on his shooting ability, but he has much more game than that to me, and we have to explore that this season.
Coach, thanks a lot for joining us, man. It's
Thank
not
you for
often you
having
get
me.
a chance to sit near and beside an Ivy League guy. You know what I mean? I feel smart, Doris. I don't know about you.
All I know is I'm glad he's got the temperament he's got, because you had 5 20-year-olds last year, and you're getting younger. So
Yes.
it's a good thing, Coach.
Thank
And we
you.
miss you and your dad out here.
Yeah.
Yes, I miss him.
Give him our
Love that,
best.
I will, definitely. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Stephen Silas, head coach of the Houston Rockets, who trail by 5 right now as we approach 6 minutes to go in the first half. An interesting perspective from the head coach a moment ago, especially on his number 3 overall pick, Jabari Smith. An interesting nugget that Stephen shared with me a little bit earlier was that he remembers being a scout for Charlotte coming up through the coaching ranks, and going to LSU, where Jabari Smith's dad played basketball, and scouting Smith Sr.
Wow.
Don't want to make us feel old, Doris, but I'll just speak for myself. Smith with 3 points. We're going to take a short break. 5-point game. Back after this.
Get up, Jay. Come on, X, come on, X, come on, X. Come on, X. E.T. Good pass. No, hook. He hooked him. Thank you. He hooked him. Good play. Way to hoop. Yeah, Ty, bang that. Okay.
Some of the great intonations from the court. R.J. Hampton and Christopher wired for sound. Lamb on the stampede. Nice kick to the corner with a side pocket 3. Good by Trevor Hudgens out of Northwest Missouri State. Lead is down to 2 points now. Banchero on the floor. 11 points on 4 for 5. He's connected on both of his 3-point attempts. For the lead, Washington left it short. Nice cut and layup. Houston. 19-year-old second round pick. Oh, Juwan Howard has turned out a few NBA guys over the last few years. Keep in mind that this Orlando team has a pretty impressive front line when you look at Wagner and Wendell Carter. And this guy right here, Houston, trying to make a case for himself as well, Doris.
Mark, 35.5% for Juwan. 60 made threes from Mr. Houston.
Smith on the bounce. And Banchero might have got a piece of that. And Hampton in transition. Got it to fall.
So Houston getting beat in transition a couple straight possessions. That won't make Coach Silas happy. But boy, it's been fun to watch Banchero and Smith go at one another.
Admiring both their competitiveness right now.
100%. And their court awareness.
3-ball good as Houston comes back to within 6. Smith with just 3 points so far. Here's Hampton.
Tell you this, Jabari Smith communicates at a high level. The guy comes back defensively with his eyes roaming the floor, pointing to people, and that time he's sort of QBing the defense, communicating from behind.
Oh, and a little bit of jelly at the hoop. And the bucket for the Rockets. Eason, the sixth man of the year a season ago in the SEC, has 7.
It just brings a tremendous amount of energy, Eason, to the floor. I love the attack. Behind the bucket, absorbing a little bit of contact. Good finish. And Hampton tries to cut off the right hand. I'm not sure he thought he had that in his bag.
Coach Higgins loves what he's getting from Eason so far, the energy and the finish at the bucket. Back after this.
Look at the multifaceted offensive game of Paolo Banchero. Slip to the corner off the drive by Hampton. How about the footwork separation against an excellent defensive player? There's the money ball. His passing is outstanding, folks. How about the handle in the open floor? And these two guys getting after each other defensively. Mr. Banchero trying to get a piece of it. Two competitive, talented guys. And both have sort of this mature demeanor about them, too.
Just 19 years old. Banchero trying to post up, wrestling at the elbow, draws the foul on the play.
So the writer down in Orlando, Mike Bianchi, I saw a column on him. He's like, we're not supposed to overreact and this, that, and the other thing to Summer League, but he's going, we're in.
We're in. Going to the playoffs. Mike always doing a great job down there with the Orlando beat coverage with the Magic. Hampton cut up on the baseline. Banchero on the baseline. Raising up a little bit strong over Eason and back the other way. Houston trying to make it a 2-point game or a 1-point game. Lamb. Loose ball and Schofield comes away with it.
How about Banchero? He's a high school quarterback. He was pointing out, hey, I got a mismatch on me.
As Washington kicked it out and a 3-ball as a result. That was Kennedy out of Princeton. Back quickly at the other end, the rebound by Hampton and on the move with Banchero. Puts up the floater and gets it to fall.
Good drive, Mark. If they don't stop basketball, never commit to you fully. Think score. Makes your passing game a little bit easier. Nice decision by Hampton.
And he's got 7 in the ball game. Hicks out top, shot clock down to 6. Smith cut off, working against Schofield. Tough fadeaway. And good hustle by Houston. Here's Banchero. Playing with his food. Inside.
Wow.
Everything but the bucket at the end. He'll go to the free throw line for 2. Oh, Banchero, whose mom, Rhonda Smith, was the University of Washington's career scoring leader until just recently when Kelsey Plum set the NCAA women's basketball scoring mark. Kelsey, of course, now with the Las Vegas Aces here locally.
They're doing all right, and so is she.
I was touting her for MVP earlier. Meanwhile, redeem this NBA 2K22 locker code for a guaranteed pink diamond player or higher from the Rockets or Magic to boost your My Team lineup, including featured 2022 rookies. Boy, NBA Jam, remember that game? He's on fire.
Don't give away our age, Mark.
Hampton at the free throw line. That's the second delay of game infraction against the Rockets, so it results in the technical foul. Of course, Paulo also with Italian heritage. His father, Mario.
Football player. This guy was a high school quarterback. How'd you like to be 6'10", standing over center as a high school quarterback?
See the whole field.
I wonder if he had a gun. Like, seriously, could he fire it?
See, he'd fling that thing about 60 yards.
Doesn't he look like he's got the frame to do it?
Yep. 13 points, 4 dimes so far for Banchero, the #1 pick. 11-point lead for the Magic. Christopher gives it up. He's the leading scorer so far for the Rockets. Eason with a tough shot. Oh, and a flush foul. Wow, there were 4 hands up by the bucket. I'm not sure who's going to get credit for that one.
I feel like
Nix
that was
there.
Nix, yeah.
I want to take away his moment. And Carroll on the dribble handoff to Schofield, now posting up against Eason. Kicks it out to the corner. 4 on the shot clock. Got to get busy. Canada well defended by Lamb. Lamb with the kick out, corner 3, Nix. And rebounded by Houston. Under a minute to go, 47 seconds. And Hampton walks it into the front court. Let's see what they call. He rejects the screen, got through the lane, and expresses himself.
Been smart. He's played smart.
Hey, RJ making some good decisions. That's what the Magic Brain Trust wanted to see from him. And Nix draws the foul inside.
You said it, Mark. Schofield was coming up to set a screen to open him for a baseline move, and instead he rejects it and gets to the middle of the floor. Smith, who was checking Banchero, you know, he's tight enough to Banchero to be able to contest and contain, but that was a great decision by Hampton.
Now we got Nix at the free throw line. Smith with 3 points in the ball game. Banchero leading the way for the Orlando Magic. He's got 13 to go along with 4 assists. Eason comes out of the ball game. Mitchell comes in. This is the second free throw, but pursued. Nix will get right back to the free throw line. That foul is going to go against Banchero. That's going to be his 4th. Check that, his 3rd personal foul.
People at home are going to be listening to you hit their 6th and 7th foul and be wondering why you're calling them out.
Hey, what the hell is wrong with Mark Jones? Just keep chopping away. Back with more right after this. Hey, this weekend is WNBA All-Star Weekend in Chicago, the Chi. Saturday on ESPN, we'll have the three-point contest, skills challenge, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Sunday, the 18th annual All-Star Game on ABC at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time, both available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. I'm assuming she's in it, Allie Quigley, in the three-point contest. I'm not exactly going out on a limb, but if she's in it, I'm taking her to win.
She's going to walk in the locker room and say, who's got second place tonight? Like Larry did?
You know it.
I don't think that's in Allie's personality to talk that much smack.
Well, she can hire me as her hype man. Big weekend for the WNBA. And, of course, at this time, great time to mention that today would be a fantastic day to bring home our sister, Brittany Griner, who's being unlawfully held in Russia right now. Hope that she's safe. Pray for her provision and cover.
The news reporting today, obviously, she pled guilty to the charges, but that really about sort of positioning her for release, hopefully.
Brittany, we're thinking of you and about you. Back after this. Well, if you watched Chet Holmgren in his Summer League debut in Salt Lake City at the Rocky Mountain Review, you had to come away impressed in the 3 games that he played. Opening night, Doris, was fantastic.
Twitter was on fire with this guy's performance. You could see the size and the skill set. How about that verticality at the cup? You know, obviously a very lean frame, so highly skilled. You know, you would expect that there to be some challenges physically.
Right.
But the skill set is real, that's for sure.
We saw some of those challenges in the second game against Kenneth Lofton Jr. Big body putting him in jail a couple of times, playing physical. See what happens here. 12 seconds to go. Let's see where the Rockets run. Smith with the step-up screen. Ty Washington left it short. Houston won't get a shot off, and that's the end of the first half of play, with the Magic leading the Rockets 53-49. to 42. Smith with 3 points and 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Banchero with 13 points and 4 dimes. Folks, if you're with us on ESPNU, you can flip over to ESPN. We'll have it there the rest of the way. We're going to take a short break and come right back after this. Back to the NBA 2K23 Summer League here under the lights in Las Vegas, Nevada. Look at the strip, and first night of 10 consecutive compelling nights of basketball. 53-42 here as we get ready to start the third quarter. But first, R.J. Hampton and Josh Christopher wired for sound.
We got to be solid. You guys are applying great pressure, but then we're bailing them out, we ain't blocking nobody's shot. Do your job and then just challenge. Fundamentally sound.
Run now, run. Yo, I'm here, I'm out, you got me?
Let's settle down. We're pushing. If they're set, let's get into some motion, some ball movement.
Good takes. So next ones. Just like practice, fool. Just like practice. Dacian, was that you? Was that Dacian?
You gotta love some of the live sound we get from our mic'd up players and coaches on the sideline. You heard Jesse Mermis, the Summer League coach for the Orlando Magic, starting it off at the top of that little bit as we get underway here in the third quarter of play.
He was asking the same question that we were. Was that Knicks on the follow? It was.
See what they run here. Banchero off a little flex cut. Nice backdoor pass in traffic. Inside, Terry over Eason. Nice looking sequence. Ball changed sides a couple times and they cashed out. 13-point lead for Orlando inside. Wow. A little room service for Terry Eason.
Yeah, not an easy angle to make that pass.
There's R.J. Hampton running the show at the point. Saw Cole Anthony here courtside at halftime, the point guard for the Magic. Schofield missing with the left hand, but draws the foul on the play on Anthony Lamb. And that'll result in 2 free throws for Schofield, who was on a 2-way deal last year. Getting a good look here, getting some good run. Admiral Schofield out of University of Tennessee. Just firing on the first, and that's another great thing about Summer League, Doris. We see Coach Higgins for the Rockets and Coach Mermis for Orlando. We get to hear and see some of the other voices, some assistant coaches getting an opportunity to ply their trade here on the sidelines at Summer League.
Jesse, remember, coached 2 games.
Yep.
Because Jamal Mosley and Nate Tibbetts both had COVID at the same time.
Jesse, erstwhile of the Sacramento Kings, where he was a member of Luke Walton's staff a couple of years ago. 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter, just underway. Daishen Nix at the free throw line, knocks down the first. I still really think that the G League Ignite has been a fertile development ground for these players. Jason Hart now is the head coach there. Coached them this past year. Prior to that, it was Brian Shaw, where they are continually learning the NBA game.
Yeah.
NBA concepts, NBA facilities.
Language, systems, all of that. Think about the entire G League. How many guys get incredible repetition and then come up and contribute for their respective organizations?
Banchero operating in traffic. Draws the foul. We'll go to the free throw line. We're talking about the conversation that he had with Jamal Crawford, who, mentors pretty much everybody coming out of Seattle that's going to the next level. And before that, it was Doug Christie that did that, assistant coach now with the Sacramento Kings. And Paolo is saying that he's looking forward that when the summer's over, he's going to keep working on his game and keep playing in the crossover, which is Jamal's summer league up there in the Northwest in Seattle.
Perfectly named.
Yes. Banchero a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
So when the technical foul happened in the first half, I think he was slightly annoyed that R.J. Hampton went up to the line.
Hey, don't you know I'm hot? Eason pulling from deep. Got it. Tari Eason mentioned the fact that he came off the bench at LSU, 6-man. Their leading scorer. Banchero throws it away. It goes right to Hampton. Baseline three, partially tipped. Good hustle that time, but from Josh Christopher, who got a piece of it.
Well, this is what Stephen Silas was talking about with Josh Christopher. We've seen he's very capable and aggressive offensively, but they need guys who are going to compete defensively.
Corner three is off the mark. Loose ball. Hampton comes right to him and deposits it. Hampton now with another bucket. He's got 11. A sideline violation, stepped out of bounds. Orlando up by 12. They've led for most of the game. Smith still guarding Banchero, and now a switch. Smith on Terry, reaches and commits the foul. You know, he's competitive. I was told a story this year that in the collegiate season when his Auburn Tigers were playing against Johnny Dawkins' Central Florida squad, one of the Central Florida guards had the audacity at one point to call him soft, and he proceeded to hang a quick 20 on him in the victory and kept letting the sideline of UCF know about it. Wow! Oh, what a block! Christopher put Terry in the friend zone but committed a foul. Oh, he wants to see the replay.
Mark, how about the pass? The pass was special, and then the defensive play. Wow. Oh, come on now. That looks like a lot of ball.
Hey, I don't see any challenge. We're not playing the challenge game yet. Maybe I spoke too soon. Coach Higgins is calling a timeout, and the light is on. We have our first official challenge of Summer League. I know you were waiting for that green light. Back with more after this. Well, right now they're still adjudicating this challenge call on the block/foul called against Josh Christopher. There's another good look at it, and boy, Emmanuel Terry tried to express himself but was denied up top, and the challenge is successful. So Coach Higgins using his timeout well and winning the challenge. Looks like we're going to get a jump ball at midcourt.
If you're encouraging Christopher to play better defense and he makes a play like that, use your challenge.
Have his back a little bit, support.
Yes.
Terry and Smith jumping it up, and Houston controls. See if Jabari Smith can get loose here a little bit. Lamb on the drive. 7 on the shot clock for Christopher. Has Smith down low, jacks it. Good hustle, but the Magic control it. Quickly, Banchero in the open court. Little Euro step, smoked the layup. Smith cross court. Nice touch pass inside. And a blown opportunity underneath by Eason. Quick crossover by Simpson. And Eason with the board. Nix was open down court. He didn't see him. Hampton switches on to Eason. Good defense by Hampton. Got the stop, but the follow is good.
Wow.
By Anthony Lamb out of Vermont. That's his first bucket.
Letting him play a little bit, Mark Jones.
I like it. Banchero out front. Hampton with a deep pull. Nothing but red jerseys underneath. Christopher in traffic. Counted and one. Boy, Josh Christopher. A little flex inside.
He's got 14 points. He's been assertive and aggressive the entire game. Takes the contact. He's thinking score on every touch.
Let's go to Cassidy.
Yeah, guys, I'm joined now by the 2021 5th overall pick in the NBA draft, Jalen Suggs. And first things first, Jalen, we got to get this out of the way. You had surgery on your ankle. How are you feeling? How's the recovery? And what's your update?
I feel great. I've gotten back on the court this past week and a half. I've been doing full workouts and things like that, and it feels amazing. So I think just to be back on the court and moving and jumping and shooting and all that stuff, just getting back to, normal things again has felt amazing. But the process is going good and, looking up.
Yeah, we saw you at shoot around today working out with some of the new guys, and also courtside with Cole, Wendell, also Markel. You were in Summer League last year. How do you describe what this experience is like now sitting on the sideline?
Oh, I mean, just to be on the sideline, see all the young guys, see everybody playing, having fun, and getting back to 5-on-5. This is the first time that kind of everybody's gotten back into a real game setting it again, and all the top picks get to play and everything. So it's fun. It's exciting to be here. It's good energy in the crowd, and I wish I was playing.
Well, you're going to get your time to play with Paolo. I mean, you talk about top picks, the top pick in this year's draft. What are your first impressions of your new teammate?
Oh, he's so talented. I think, offensively he does it all. Get into the basket, passing, just his versatility on that is amazing. And then defensively, he's done a great job tonight. Something that we've been talking to him about, and we've definitely been working on. So I think he's had a great showing today. Just continuing to be in his ear and let him know that we're all here and he don't got to do nothing special. Just be who he is. And that's a great player.
And that's the advice you gave, because I said you've been around this team a lot. You've been in Vegas working out. What has been the advice that you've been giving Paolo about how to take in this experience?
Yeah, again, just to be yourself. Have fun. This is his first time playing 5-on-5. In a long time, going from the end of the season really, and you don't get to do much in pre-draft. So just to have fun, get out here, get up and down, have fun with the crowd and everything like that. And then, obviously when we all get together again and get ready to go into training camp, we'll get back to work.
You're having connections with not just the #1 overall pick, but you also have a connection with the #2 pick in this year's draft. Obviously, high school teammates with Chet. Did you connect with him after his NBA Summer League debut? Has he created a little bit of buzz?
Oh, yeah. I texted him, and, we were talking for a bit. But it's just great to see him doing what he does. He was out there having fun. He was comfortable, and obviously had a great showing both nights. So, I'm happy for him, ready for him to get out here so I can see him, chop it up with him, spend some time together. But, yeah, he's been doing a great job so far.
The youth movement is certainly in Orlando. Looking forward to seeing how you guys continue to grow. Good luck this season. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Of course. Thank you.
Jonesy, DB.
All right, thanks a lot, Cass. Great job there. And you mentioned that a lot of the Magic players are here watching the Summer League players run up and down and do their thing. Here's Smith for the Rockets. But, in year 2 coming up of the Jamal Mosley era, when you look at their roster, there's good reason to be excited. When you look at Cole Anthony, got some good reps last year, played well for them, and went on some pretty prolific scoring binges at times last year. Fultz coming back. Gary Harris re-signed. Suggs is going to be back.
How about the front court?
Yeah.
Franz Wagner, highly skilled.
All rookie.
Right. I mean, Paolo Banchero, you can kind of move him around as a chess piece, but their front court can be pretty impressive. To me, I'm very curious about Jonathan Isaac. I think he is big-time talented, Mark. Obviously one of those Florida State guys. Rangy, he's now 7 feet. He's grown a little bit.
Filled out a little bit, too.
Filled out a little bit.
Him.
you know, you and I were talking earlier today. Who's the next Memphis?
Yeah.
What organization can, you know, go through a period of struggles, build organically, and then make some hay a little bit? Is Orlando one of those teams?
One of the great questions that starts being answered perhaps here at Summer League. Here's Jabari Smith. Nice little finger roll, smooth in doing it. He's got 5 now in the ball game. Still trying to get on track.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty, but it's also the same thing we saw in his first drive, where it's decisive, it's quick, it's mobile enough to split defenders. Had a very similar move in the first half.
Another delay of game, technical foul, and subsequent free throw for Orlando.
It's on Jabari.
Not allowed to tap the basketball and after the basket. That's what happened there. But yeah, getting back to Orlando, and you know, there's going to be year 2 for Jamal Mosley, and we'll speak with him a little bit later, but he has successfully planted the seeds of a successful new culture there. They want champions, they say, on and off the court, and you know, he's making his young players understand work, the spirit behind that work, the sense of appreciation, the care that the coaches have for the players. He's talked about how much time they've spent together as a group all summer, going to dinners here in Las Vegas and back in Orlando, getting ready for Las Vegas Summer League, and I've seen it. He's really pouring himself into this team. And looking for improvement this year as well. Smith walked with it.
I think for both men on these respective organizations, Stephen Silas and Jamal, when you're coaching as many young guys, are you fulfilling more roles than just basketball coach?
Great point. And 2 coaches that are very capable of standing in the gap for a lot of different factors and reasons outside of basketball. Ford out top with the 3. Got it. And Orlando back up by 10 with 3:16 to go here in the 3rd quarter. This is the first of 2 tonight. Smith got it.
He is a special shooter. I thought he was a little rushed the last 3 he made, but we watched him shoot it at practice this morning. My goodness, Mark.
Hey, I was telling you about University of Central Florida game when some of their players were mouthing off and running their mouth against him, and he let them have it as a result. Same thing happened against Syracuse, and he gave it to them too. So maybe if there's a lesson to be learned, if he's struggling, just leave him alone.
He is really competitive.
Works out with his, or came up through that Atlantic Celtics program. Part of that group, a prominent group down there in Atlanta, Georgia.
So this, the rules experiment here. Take foul. We'll talk about it on the other side, but
Love
this
it.
will be interesting.
Love it. Back with more after this.
Sometimes, Mark, you institute some rules, see how it looks and feels. Transition opportunity to take foul by Jabari Smith, excuse me. 2 looks at it. So the penalty is 1 foul shot and possession of the basketball. You had some guys, most notably our own Jeff Van Gundy, pleading for this for several years.
And I agree, that is a great implementation of the rule, and they often use Summer League as a little grounds for experimentation with some of these rules, and I'd love to see this next year when we start playing regular season games.
I'll be shocked if it's not instituted because the chorus grew louder and louder. And I think it's appropriate. Obviously, this game has some of the most special athletes in the world. You want that to be able to be showcased. And, you know, defenders should not be able to stop an adverse situation simply because you're in poor position.
Schofield faces up. Cross court, Ford a little bit short. Schofield coming down Main Street. Thought he was going to cock it back and punch one instead. And missed the finger roll, and
Ty Washington is smiling because he knows he made a business decision. He has got the wryest smile on his face.
Somebody was writing his eulogy right there.
That's right. He thought about it. It's a quick reverse. He's like, I'm a rookie with a long career ahead of me.
Pull the ripcord and get out. 8-point ball game. Tough move inside and a slick finish by Josh Christopher, who has been maybe the Rockets' best player so far tonight. 16 points, 3 blocks. Rockets with some rim presence. Christopher draws the hit in transition, and he'll get a couple of more here.
I'm telling you, Mark, every time he has touched this basketball, he has been assertive to score it. Little give and go situation, attacks the body of that defender. No foul call, but then how about that erasure at the rim? My goodness.
You know, he was Arizona State's first 5-star recruit since James Harden was back in 2007. So we mentioned another one of those young players, just 20 years old. 6'5", 215. Knocks down the free throw.
It's not surprising that Houston struggled in 2 main areas when you consider how many 20-year-olds they were playing with. Defensively, 30th. Yep. Turnovers, 30th.
Christopher goes 2 for 2, and Jalen Green watching this one. Kevin Porter Jr. as well. Simpson used that Smitty move on the baseline. Jumper a little bit strong by Houston. Simpson got a mismatch. There's that sweeping hook he likes to use. Houston straight away, got it.
This guy can really shoot it. We were talking to Jeff Weltman earlier today. He's like, this young man is a very capable shooter.
Played his high school basketball at the popular Mount Bird Academy in Central Florida. Just a 30-minute drive from the Amway Center, where he's now playing for the Orlando Magic. Orlando doing some big things. They got a new practice facility they're building there. There's Justin James on the baseline drive. Great cut, a better block. Eric Holman got there and knocked it away. And Christopher draws the foul on the closeout.
This is the second impressive block by Holman. I mean, just really quick to the basketball. Excellent job. I mean, he really gave up the cut, but quickly recovers.
And Christopher back at the free throw line where he just made his last 2. Rockets trying to cut into this lead. And knocks down the first. Hey, NBA 2K23 Summer League action continues tomorrow, Friday, on ESPNU and ESPN2. On the U, it's Dallas, Chicago at 4 Eastern. On ESPN2, Charlotte, Indiana at 6, followed by the Warriors and Knicks at 8, and the Suns and Lakers, the nightcap, at 10 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. Doris, you and I are learning how to stay up late. Both of us still on East Coast time, and for our friends back east, hope you got a little nap in a little bit earlier, because this is the first of 2. We have Portland, Detroit coming up in our own version of NBA's Summer League Midnight Madness. See Jaden Ivey coming up next for the Pistons, and Shadon Sharpe of Portland. There's Tibbs, head coach of the New York Knicks, signing Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $110 million deal. They got themselves a pretty talented point guard who did big things in the postseason with the Mavericks, Doors.
Jalen Brunson's a winner, period.
Yep. Oh, great stop and a dime by Christopher.
Wow.
And a splash. 6-point ball game. Christopher with 22. About an 8-second difference between the shot and game clock.
There's stretches of this game where it feels like he single-handedly has kept Houston attached.
Ford on the show and go through traffic.
Holman again. excellent rim protection. That's 3 straight plays where he has been solid.
Christopher cooking. Couldn't get it to fall to the buzzer. That's the end of the third quarter of play. 1 quarter to go. Back with more right after this.
Welcome back to the NBA 2K23 Summer League. I'm here with third-year guard RJ Hampton. And how comfortable has it felt out there with your new teammates, and how can you apply that to closing things out here in the fourth quarter?
It's felt good, getting acclimated back to playing 5-on-5 basketball. It's good. I think everybody's in here trying to catch their win, but, it's the fourth quarter now. A lot of things we can do clean up to, win this game. 11
points so far for you tonight. Good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for taking your time. Jonesy?
All right, RJ Hampton checking a few boxes tonight, playing the point. As we get underway here in the fourth quarter, it's a 6-point lead for the Magic. Josh Christopher has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the Rockets offensively. He's got 22 points overall, 10 coming in that last third quarter. Here he is working against James. Tough contested shot halfway down and out. We'll get another opportunity here. That one a little bit short. Might have been partially blocked by Emmanuel Terry.
I like the first sequence by James, trying to make it tough on Christopher, just getting in a stance, staying in front, and then challenging once he decided to gather.
James out front, the pin down, well defended that time by Ty Washington. James from deep. Been watching Justin James work out down in Miami all summer with Stan Remy at his gym. Working out and playing against a lot of different NBA pros. That 3 is good, and here comes Houston. They've made it a 3-point game.
Okay, Mark Jones, we've seen Holman at the cup as a rim protector. Now facing up and making a 3. This young man's giving them good minutes.
A triple handoff Ford. Cross court to James. Little float game off the mark. Ford underneath. There's Houston, and he cashes out with the 3. That's sure to make head coach Jamal Mosley happy. He'll be joining us here in a minute. Houston, the sharpshooter out of Michigan.
He has delivered what they said he would be, which is a guy who can make 3s consistently.
Started 34 games for the Wolverines last year. Whistle and a foul going to go against the Magic. We're going to bring in Jamal Mosley now. Joining us here at the table. Coach, let's talk about Paolo Banchero and what you've seen from him tonight. What do you like about the way he's played?
Well, his easy decision making.
Okay.
He's willing to make the simple play, the simple pass, not trying to do too much early on, getting himself a good feel for the game.
He seems like he's a guy that you can move and around the floor, elbow off the deck. We saw him make a play in transition at full speed, pitch it to the corner. How do you see you guys taking the best advantage of what is a multifaceted game?
Well, that's it right there. Coach Mermis did a great job right there, running a couple of after timeout plays for him, putting him at the elbow, putting him on the post, allowing him to make decisions. But like you said, getting it out in transition, you got to continue to rebound the basketball so he can push the break and make those quick, easy decisions in transition.
Tell us about what you've seen at the defensive end from him. He's been guarding Jabari Smith a lot of the time.
Well, the great part about it is he's willing to take on the challenge. He's talked about and asked about how to become a better defender. And, he's willing to take those challenges on. His ability to slide his feet.
Okay, you can get excited about this. Take 5 seconds. Yeah.
Caleb's doing exactly what we need him to do. Step into his shot with confidence. And again, that ball starts to move a little more. Guys feel comfortable taking their shots versus playing one-on-one basketball. Now we got to sit down and get a stop. Get out and look to run.
You were telling us before the game, R.J. Hampton's a guy in his 3rd year, doesn't have to be here, chooses to put himself out. Number one, what do you like about that? And also, what have you seen from him tonight?
Early on, he started out, trying to speed things up a little bit too much, and then he settled down, got himself in the game. And I know he talked about it a little earlier. These guys, it's their first game playing 5-on-5 in months. So just getting out there with the teammates, catching their second wind, that's what he had to do. Just settle himself down and, do the things he's capable of doing, making the simple and easy plays.
Another deep 3 and another
second shot
by Holman. Coach, this is year 2 for you coming up. Tell us what seeds of your culture do you feel that you've built successfully in year one and are going to grow here in year two with this cast of youngsters coming through?
Well, I think the foundation of being late is just the way we're going to work the way in which we're going to work every single day. Understanding that win or lose, we have the same amount of pressure defensively, the same amount of activity defensively, offensively being willing to share the basketball. But again, us understanding how we have to work, coming in and competing. There you go, young fella. Us being able to compete nightly, but again, doing that with that sense of joy. Like you see our guys rooting for one another, our guys from the roster that are here, pushing these guys, willing to work every single day, supporting one another. I think it's just fantastic with this group of guys.
Well, Jalen Suggs was with our Cassidy Hubbard earlier tonight. I know you guys send these young men home with things to work on, things to think about. What did you say to Jalen Suggs as he steps away and tries to continue to develop?
Well, the thing with Jalen, again, it's a big portion of these guys slowing down and reading the game a ton. Now, obviously, we talked about him as well, continuing to work on his shot. But again, he's got to be the guy that decision-making, slowing down, letting the game come to him more than anything.
Coach, we're coming up on a break. We want to thank you for joining us. And I tell you what, I'm really impressed by your ability to go one-on-one in the post against Paolo.
Well,
some of that practice video, man. Hey, the stopper's on the sidelines.
It's only on defense because I'm not touching the ball on offense. I can tell you that right now.
Hey, folks, if you don't believe me, okay, we can show you some of Coach Mosley's defensive work here against the #1 pick. Paolo, he's on lockdown right here. He's not getting anything.
And he's talking smack.
Back after this. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
NBA 2K23 Summer League is presented by NBA 2K23. Answer the call.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NBA 2K23 Summer League here in Las Vegas. Mark Jones courtside chopping it up with Doris Burke and Cassidy Hubbard. Justin James at the free throw line for the Magic, who lead by 7 here in the fourth and final quarter. 5:27 to go. Some great insights from Jamal Mosley, second-year head coach of the Orlando Magic, joined us at the table here a moment ago. Doris, during the playoffs, I saw Coach Mosley at a Mavericks Suns playoff game with Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter. And I asked him about it. He said, hey, I got to teach these young guys what the playoffs and the postseason is all about. How you get there, the work it takes to get there, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it looks like. And I tell you, when you kind of plant that seed, I think it's brilliant.
Listen, Jamal Mosley, longtime assistant coach, right? Paid his dues, 7 years in Dallas with Rick Carlisle, 4 years in Cleveland, 5 years in Denver, part of that Western Conference Finals team back in '09 when he was an assistant with Denver. You know what's cool to me, Mark, is watching guys like Willie Green.
Right.
Mr. Bickerstaff, all these young guys.
Ime Udoka. Taking his team to the finals.
Years of being an assistant coach, paying their dues, getting their opportunity, and then finding success. Just fun to watch. Now can Darvin Ham do it in La La Land?
Yeah. Interesting comments from Darvin regarding Russell Westbrook and his ability to smoothly integrate Russell into the Lakers' offensive flow and make it look a little bit better than it did a season ago. Jerry West on hand. Seth Greenberg, who will be calling games this week as well. Here's Smith. That jumper way short. 4.5 minutes to go. So each team here at the Summer League will play 5 games. Hampton with a nice crossover on Holman. Everything but the layup. Each team will play 5 games, and teams with the 2 best records after the first 4 games will play in the title game. Shot clock down to 12. And I'm told of that title game that for the first time here at Summer League, Doris, they will be handing out some serious bling, as in rings.
No.
We don't play here in Las Vegas, Doris. There's your first Jones bomb.
We don't play.
It's a discount type. Inside. And a nice look and find. Kennedy with the layup makes it an 11-point contest. Boy, Eason came down and kept the eye and gave all the rest of the fouls back. Banchero inside.
Look at his frame. I mean, my goodness.
Big time.
Right, he can shake that defender because the left shoulder glances, and the footwork, you touched on it the first time he touched the ball. The footwork is outstanding.
He's got 17, and Eason even tapped him up after that bucket. Smith tried to get a little get back and couldn't, but the putback is good by Eason. Rockets can't afford to trade buckets, though. Under 3 minutes to go. Smith switches on to Hampton. Jabari Smith moving his feet well there, Doris.
He's shown it multiple times, Mark. The ability on a switch to stay down and stay in front of a guard.
And Carroll misfiring on that midi. And we got a whistle. It's going to stay at this end.
Let's watch Paolo Banchero at 6'10", 250 pounds. Use the frame, the ability to get downhill, and the footwork. Stop it, Paolo. What you got in your game? I got plenty, folks.
It's on ESPN. We'll have the Trailblazers and the Pistons from here in Las Vegas. Thomas and Mack schedule will appear. The number 5 overall pick, Jaden Ivey, Shaden Sharp of Portland, and the Boeheims in the house tonight. Jim and Julie. Of course, Pistons coming up next. Jimmy and Buddy. Knicks driving. Tough pass inside. Actually got there. And Banchero with the board. "11-point lead. About 2 minutes to play here. Banchero 5 of 10 from the field. 17 points. 6 assists. And handling here off the ball screen. And that's going to be an illegal screen by Hampton and a foul. But you alluded to it, Doris. They can use him different ways.
They can.
Handler and a pick and roll right there.
Yeah, tremendous frame. So many dimensions offensively.
Tell you what, when you look at the Seattle area where he's from, I started to name the litany of great players out of there. Doug Christie, Nate Robinson, Jamal Crawford talked about him. Marvin Williams. Big list of players. Go on forever. Banchero with good defense on Smith. Kicks it out to the corner. Every time I start talking about the Seattle area players, the guys that don't get mentioned hit me up and cook them.
I'm sure, yes. It's the danger of listing anything, Mark Jones.
I got friends in Seattle. Banchero couldn't finish that layup, but the Rockets throw it away. Of course, Garfield High School with that powerful program out there in the Seattle area, and Rainier Beach as well. Hampton. Approaching a minute to go. Emmanuel Terry out top. Banchero from three-point territory. Terry with the cleanup. Missed a couple of times. Smith had his pass tipped out of bounds. Banchero shot 32% from three-point territory. We saw him misfire on that last one. That's an area of improvement for him. Mentioned Mike Miller, his representation a little bit earlier. Yes, that Mike Miller, the former player, NBA champion with the Miami Heat.
That's a pretty good get for a guy breaking into that field.
He's got Hampton as well right now with the ball. Little two-man game here as Banchero slips out. Terry for three. Boy, didn't shoot a lot of threes in Stockton last year, but made that one. He had a good summer league last year playing for the reigning summer league champions, the Sacramento Kings. And that's going to do it. 91-77 as the clock winds down on this one. Battle between the number 1 and the number 3 picks. Banchero with 17 points, 6 dimes. Jabari Smith with 10.7 rebounds and 3 assists. Just the beginning for these new stars in the NBA. Paolo Banchero's team gets the win 91-77. And don't forget, coming up next, folks, we've got the Pistons taking on the Trailblazers.
This young man had a special game.
Did.
Josh Christopher, aggressive from the outset.
And we are efforting an interview with Banchero, joining Cassidy here in a few minutes.
I thought it was a solid debut for both guys, Mark. You know, the stat line probably going to look a little bit more impressive for this young guy. But Jabari Smith, a guy who defensively is going to do an awful lot of things for a team in desperate need of the kind of skill and disposition he brings on that end of the floor.
10.7 rebounds, 3 dimes for Jabari Smith as he gets used to playing 5-on-5 full court once again. After all the traveling and media interviews, being poked and prodded during combines and physicals and exams, and it's all about basketball now. Let's go courtside to Cassidy.
I'm here with Paolo Banchero, and you got 17.6 assists in your summer league debut. How comfortable did you feel out there tonight?
I felt comfortable, you know, just really my body, getting my body to catch up. It's been a while since I played, so battling through some soreness and stuff, but it was fun, man. I felt real good out there.
And your head coach, Malmos, he joined us, and he said what stood out to him was your ease with your playmaking. As I mentioned, 6 assists. How much do you pride yourself on your playmaking ability?
A lot. You know, that's always been a big part of my game, just getting my guys involved. We got a bunch of great players on the team that, you know, they make great cuts and set great screens, so I got to give them the ball.
We talked a lot during this game about the competitiveness between you and Jabari. Was there ever a sense, whether heading into this game or during those battles on the court, where you felt like you wanted to prove that you deserve to be the number 1 overall pick?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, I've always had a chip on my shoulder. But, you know, that wasn't my whole mindset. You know, I want to come out and get the win, get used to playing with the guys. You know, it's our first summer league game, and we try to win every game. So that was the start of the whole summer league season for us.
Well, another guy who seemed to prove something out there is your teammate, Caleb Houston, who just was hot from 3. What did you notice about playing alongside him tonight and the impact he had on this game?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb, he's been a high-level player since high school. You know, I've known who he was for a while. And just coming in, you know, he's a real mature player, can shoot the hell out of the ball. So, you know, I wasn't surprised about what he did.
We had a lot of your teammates cheering you on tonight. First win here at Summer League. Congrats on the win, and thanks for taking the time. Jonesy?
First of many potential successful nights to come for the number 1 pick, Paolo Banchero. Doris, the number 1 pick, got the win. The number 3 pick took the L, but it's just the start. And both of them had their respective moments tonight at both ends of the floor.
Well, the expectation going into the draft that Mr. Smith might go first, but when you look at the multifaceted game of Mr. Banchero, boy, what a decision. Big time frame. Very well-rounded game off the rebound into transition. The nice pitch, his passing, his competitiveness on the defensive end. And Jabari Smith, the stats will tell a different story, but I thought he showed a number of different things critical to his team. This in particular, how competitive he was defensively. A couple times switching onto guards, getting down in a stance and staying in front. Put it on the deck multiple times for a couple of nice-looking drives. He, too, has the face-up ability. So a really solid start. And to Banchero's point to Cassidy a minute ago, it's been months since they've had a real run. So I thought both guys pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the part really that I think is overlooked a lot of times. I mentioned the media circuit that these guys do, the interviews, they practice and they start easing back into basketball. This is part of the process. Much better things to come for both those guys. Hopefully we'll get a glimpse of it here in Vegas, if not beyond. But next, coming up, we got the Detroit Pistons taking on the Portland Trailblazers. And boy, we get a look at Jaden Ivey and Shaedon Sharpe from the Pistons and the Blazers. The number 5 pick, Ivey, out of Purdue, one of the, maybe the most dynamic athlete in the draft.
Explosive to the cup, loves to get to the rim. And of course, his mom, Niele, the head coach, longtime assistant coach at Notre Dame. Niele had also been around the pro game, so that's a young man who's been around it for a while.
Yeah. Former assistant coach with the Memphis Grizzlies. That's what's coming up next. NBA Summer League action continues from here in Vegas with Portland and the Pistons coming up next. Stick around.